Stop scrubbing your toilet bowl. Seriously, put the brush down. If you are spending every weekend on your knees attacking yellow rings and brown stains with harsh chemicals that burn your nose and irritate your lungs, you are doing it wrong. You are fighting a battle you cannot win because you are treating the symptom, not the cause. I'm going to show you how to stop toilet stains and odors at the source, not by masking them with blue water or heavy perfumes, but by changing the biology inside your tank. And the best part? The solution costs less than $1. It's something you probably already have in your kitchen cabinet, or you can buy it at any grocery store for pennies. My grandfather cleaned schools for 40 years. My father cleaned hospital bathrooms where the standards were life and death strict. They didn't have time for gimmicks. They didn't have time to scrub toilets 3 times a week. They used science. They understood that a toilet isn't just a porcelain bowl, it's an ecosystem. And if you control the ecosystem, you control the cleanliness. Today, I'm showing you the one item that changes everything. It's not bleach, it's not an expensive tablet that turns your water neon green. It's simple, it's safe, and it works while you sleep. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you will never look at your toilet tank the same way again. Let's talk about what is actually happening in your toilet. Most people think the problem is the bowl. They see a ring, they see discoloration, they smell something off, so they grab the brush and the bleach, they scrub, they flush, it looks clean for 24 hours, then the ring comes back, the smell returns. Why? Because the bowl is not the problem. The tank is the problem. Your toilet tank is a dark, warm, wet environment. It is the perfect breeding ground for biofilm. Biofilm is not just dirt, it is a complex community of bacteria, mold, and minerals that stick together and form a protective slime layer. This slime lives on the walls of your tank, on the flapper, on the fill valve, and in the jets under the rim of the bowl. Every time you flush, water from the tank rushes into the bowl. If that water is carrying bacteria and mineral deposits from the biofilm in the tank, you are essentially painting your clean bowl with dirty water. You are recontaminating the surface you just scrubbed. Think about it. You spend 20 minutes scrubbing. You use strong chemicals. You rinse it out. It looks pristine. Then you flush. Whoosh! A wave of water hits the bowl. That water has been sitting in a tank full of microbial growth. It carries iron, manganese, calcium, and bacteria. It settles on the porcelain. As the water evaporates, it leaves behind minerals. The bacteria attach to those minerals. Within hours, the yellow ring starts to form again. This is why surface cleaning fails. You are trying to mop up a spill while the faucet is still running. You have to turn off the faucet. You have to stop the source. Most commercial toilet cleaners are designed to mask this issue. They use dyes to hide the color of the water. They use heavy fragrances to cover the odor of decaying organic matter. They use harsh acids to burn away the visible stain, but they do nothing to prevent the next batch of bacteria from settling in. In fact, some of these harsh chemicals can damage the rubber components in your tank, causing leaks and expensive repairs. I've seen this in hospitals. I've seen this in schools. The janitors who spent all day scrubbing toilets were always tired, always frustrated, and always dealing with the same complaints. The janitors who understood the system, they spent 10 minutes a week on maintenance, and their toilets stayed clean. They knew that if the tank was clean, the bowl would take care of itself. So, the problem isn't that you aren't scrubbing hard enough. The problem is that you are scrubbing the wrong place. You are ignoring the engine room. You are ignoring the tank. To understand the solution, you need to understand the biology of the stain. What exactly is that yellow or brown ring? It's usually a combination of 2 things: minerals and bacteria. First, minerals. Depending on where you live, your water contains different levels of hardness. Hard water has high levels of calcium and magnesium. Some water has high levels of iron or manganese. When this water sits in your tank, these minerals precipitate out. They settle on the surfaces. Iron creates reddish-brown stains. Manganese creates black or dark brown stains. Calcium creates white, chalky buildup. Second, bacteria. Specifically, a type of bacteria called Serratia marcensis. This bacteria loves moisture. It feeds on soap residue, body oils, and other organic matter that gets flushed down the toilet. It produces a pinkish or reddish slime. When this slime mixes with the mineral deposits, it creates that stubborn, hard-to-remove ring that seems to etch into the porcelain. Now, here is the key insight. These bacteria and minerals don't just sit there. They form a biofilm. A biofilm is like a city for bacteria. They build a protective structure out of sugars and proteins. This structure shields them from mild cleaners. It allows them to stick to surfaces tightly. Once a biofilm is established in your tank, it continuously sheds bacteria and mineral particles into the water. Bleach is often recommended for this, but bleach has major flaws in this context. First, bleach degrades quickly. If you pour bleach into the tank, it loses its effectiveness within a few hours. It doesn't provide long-term protection. Second, bleach is corrosive. It eats away at the rubber flapper and the seals in your tank. A degraded flapper leads to a running toilet, which wastes hundreds of gallons of water a month. That's money down the drain. Third, bleach doesn't remove existing biofilm well. It might kill some surface bacteria, but it doesn't break down the protective slime layer. The biofilm remains and the bacteria grow back quickly. We need something that does three things: breaks down the biofilm structure, chelates or binds the minerals so they don't stick to the porcelain, and is safe for the rubber components in your tank, and provides ongoing protection, not just a one-time kill. The answer is not a harsh chemical. The answer is chemistry that works with biology, not against it. We need an acid that is strong enough to dissolve mineral deposits and disrupt biofilm, but gentle enough not to damage your plumbing. We need something that lowers the pH of the water in the tank, making it inhospitable for bacteria to thrive. And we need something that is cheap, because if it costs $20 a month, you won't use it. If it costs 50 cents, you will. The item is citric acid. Not lemon juice, not vinegar. Pure, powdered citric acid. You can find it in the canning aisle of any grocery store or in the baking section. It's used for preserving jams and jellies. It's also used in many eco-friendly cleaning products. A 1-pound bag costs about $3 to $5. That bag will last you 6 months to a year depending on how many toilets you have. That breaks down to pennies per use. Here is why citric acid is superior to vinegar and bleach for this specific application.
Vinegar is acetic acid. It works, but it's weak. It has a strong smell that lingers, and because it's a liquid, it's harder to dose correctly in the tank. You'd have to pour cups of it in, which dilutes the effect. Citric acid is a stronger acid than acetic acid. It is more effective at breaking down calcium and limescale. It is odorless, and because it's a powder, you can measure it precisely. Citric acid is a chelating agent. This means it binds to metal ions like calcium, iron, and magnesium. When it binds to these minerals, it keeps them in solution so they don't precipitate out and stick to your toilet bowl. It prevents the stain from forming in the first place. It also lowers the pH of the water. Most bacteria, including the ones that cause biofilm and odors, prefer a neutral pH. By making the water slightly acidic, you create an environment where these bacteria struggle to survive and reproduce. It doesn't necessarily kill them instantly like bleach, but it stops them from thriving. It starves them out. And crucially, citric acid is safe for rubber. It won't degrade your flapper or your seals. It's gentle on your plumbing. Here is exactly how to use it. Step 1. Clean the tank. If your tank is already dirty, you need to start with a clean slate. Turn off the water supply to the toilet. Flush the toilet to empty the tank. Use a sponge or a rag to wipe out any sludge, sediment, or visible buildup from the bottom and sides of the tank. If there is heavy scaling, you can pour a cup of citric acid dissolved in warm water into the empty tank and let it sit for an hour. Scrub lightly with a soft brush. Then, turn the water back on and let the tank fill. Flush once to rinse. Step 2. The maintenance dose. Once the tank is clean, you want to keep it clean. Take 1 tablespoon of powdered citric acid. Drop it directly into the tank water. Do not dissolve it first, just drop the powder in. It will sink to the bottom and slowly dissolve over the next few hours. Do this once a week. That's it. 1 tablespoon once a week. What happens next? As the citric acid dissolves, it spreads through the tank. It coats the internal components. It binds to any new minerals entering with the fresh water. It keeps the pH low. The biofilm cannot establish itself. The bacteria cannot multiply. When you flush, the water going into the bowl is clean. It's free of bacterial load. It's free of excess minerals. So when that water hits the bowl, it doesn't leave behind a stain. It doesn't feed the ring. You will notice a difference within the first week. The water in the bowl will look clearer. The smell will disappear, not because it's masked, but because the source of the odor is gone. The yellow ring will stop forming. If you already have a ring, you may need to scrub it one last time with a pumice stone or a mild abrasive cleaner to remove the existing stain, but after that, it won't come back. I want to address a common concern. Will this damage my toilet? No. Porcelain is highly resistant to acid. Citric acid is mild. It's found in citrus fruits. It's safe for septic systems. It's safe for city sewage. It's biodegradable. What if you have very hard water? If your water is extremely hard, you might need to increase the dose slightly. Start with 1 tablespoon. If you still see some spotting after 2 weeks, go up to 2 tablespoons. But don't go overboard. More is not always better. You just want to maintain a slight acidity.
What about the blue tablets? Throw them away. Those tablets are filled with dyes and harsh chemicals that stain your tank and degrade your rubber parts. They're a marketing gimmick. They make the water look clean, but they don't make it clean. Citric acid makes the water actually clean. Let's talk about cost again. A 1-pound bag of citric acid is roughly 450 grams. 1 tablespoon is about 10 grams, so you get roughly 45 doses from 1 bag. If you have 1 toilet, that's 45 weeks, almost a year, for $5. Compare that to buying a bottle of toilet cleaner every month at $4 each. That's $48 a year. You are saving over $40 a year per toilet. If you have 2 or 3 bathrooms, the savings add up fast. But the real saving is time. You are no longer scrubbing. You are no longer breathing in fumes. You are no longer fighting a losing battle. You are maintaining the system. Here's a pro tip. If you have a particularly stubborn biofilm issue, or if you haven't cleaned your tank in years, do a deep clean first. Mix half a cup of citric acid with hot water. Pour it into the tank. Let it sit overnight. The heat accelerates the reaction. The acid will break down the toughest scales. In the morning, scrub lightly and flush. Then start the weekly maintenance dose. Another tip, check your flapper. If your flapper is old and cracked, replace it. A leaking flapper means water is constantly moving through the tank. This prevents the citric acid from staying in contact with the surfaces long enough to work. A good seal ensures the treated water stays in the tank, doing its job. This method works because it respects the biology. It doesn't try to nuke the environment with poison. It changes the conditions so that the problems can't exist. It's preventative, not reactive. That is the mindset of a professional janitor. We don't wait for the mess to happen. We set up the environment so the mess doesn't happen. My grandfather taught me that cleaning is about prevention. If you prevent the dirt from sticking, you don't have to remove it. Citric acid in the tank prevents the minerals and bacteria from sticking. It's that simple. You might be wondering, can I use this in the bowl too? Yes, if you have a stained bowl, you can pour half a cup of citric acid into the bowl, let it sit for an hour, and then scrub. It works wonders on hard water rings. But the tank is the priority. Fix the tank, and the bowl fixes itself. Let's compare this to oxygen bleach, which I've mentioned in other videos. Oxygen bleach is great for organic stains and whitening. It's excellent for removing existing biofilm, but for ongoing maintenance in the tank, citric acid is better because it's more stable in water over time. Oxygen bleach breaks down faster. Citric acid stays active longer. You can use them together if you want. Do a deep clean with oxygen bleach once a month and maintain with citric acid weekly. But if you only do one thing, make it the citric acid. This is not a magic trick. It's chemistry. It's biology. It's the result of decades of experience in keeping facilities clean without wasting time or money. It's the old way, but it's the smart way. So there you have it. 1 tablespoon of citric acid once a week in the tank. Stop scrubbing, start preventing. If you try this, I want to hear from you. Go to the comments below and tell me what is the biggest cleaning problem in your house right now. Is it the grout in the shower? The grease on the stove? The dust on the ceiling fans? Let me know. I read every comment and your suggestions help me decide what videos to make next. If you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button. I upload new videos every week teaching you the practical, no-nonsense cleaning methods that actually work. No fluff, no fake promises, just real advice from a third-generation janitor. And if you want to learn more about how to tackle biofilm in other areas of your home, check out this video right here where I show you how to clean your washing machine using the same principles. It's linked on the screen now. Thanks for watching. Keep it clean.